In a small village nestled by the mountains, there lived a boy named Rath. Every night, his eyes would trace the constellations, settling on the brightest star that seemed to hold a promise just for him. He possessed nothing more than his dreams and a heart that stubbornly refused to give up. Rath was born into a poor family, but his parents were honest, hard-working people who instilled in him the profound value of integrity and effort. 2. On many nights when the cooking pot was empty and there was no food to eat, he would find solace under the flickering glow of a dim candlelight. Poring over old torn books, his hunger for knowledge far greater than the hunger in his stomach. As he grew into a teenager, Rath harbored a grand dream of studying engineering. However, with no money to his family's name, this ambition seemed like a distant, impossible star. To make ends meet and chase his aspiration, he took up a job as a rice mill repair boy in his village, painstakingly saving a few coins each day. Many of his friends, seeing his relentless toil for what they considered a futile cause, would often laugh at him, their words sharp and dismissive. "Your dream is too big for someone like you," they would taunt. But Rath never allowed their words to chip away at his resolve or destroy the dream he held so dear. He developed a ritual, a morning affirmation that became his shield. Every morning, as the sun began to cast its first golden rays over the mountains, he would look at his reflection and tell himself, "One day, I will make the sky shine with my own creation." He didn't just speak these words, he immortalized them by writing them on the mud wall of his small room. This phrase became his daily reminder, a silent promise to himself to keep going, to keep pushing, no matter how steep the climb. His small collection of coins grew with agonizing slowness, but his determination grew exponentially faster. Each repaired machine, each page of a borrowed textbook read under moonlight, was a small step toward the future he envisioned. A future where his village wouldn't be defined by its limitations, but by its potential. After years of relentless self-study and saving every single bit of money he could, a glimmer of hope finally appeared on the horizon. An opportunity, seemingly sent by the very stars he admired, came in the form of a scholarship to study in the city. It was a chance, a lifeline, the one opening he had been praying for. The moment he had to leave his village for the first time was bittersweet. It broke his heart to say goodbye to his family and the familiar comfort of the mountains that had cradled his dreams. Yet, he knew, deep in his soul, that this departure was not an ending, but a beginning. It was the crucial first step on the long road toward meaningful change, not just for himself, but for everyone he was leaving behind. He carried their hopes with him, a weight that felt both heavy and empowering. City life was a whirlwind, a stark and often unforgiving contrast to the quiet simplicity of his village. The new language was a barrier, the fast-paced impersonal environment was disorienting, and the academic and social challenges seemed endless and insurmountable at times. There were days when the sheer pressure felt crushing, when he felt like a small, lost boy in a vast, indifferent concrete jungle. Yet, Rath never gave up. On those lonely, desolate nights, when doubt crept into the corners of his mind, he would close his eyes and conjure the faces of his parents. He would remember their tired but loving smiles, their calloused hands that had worked tirelessly for him, and their unwavering belief in his potential. Their memory was his anchor. He channeled their quiet strength, pushing forward with a renewed sense of faith and an unyielding determination that had been forged in the fires of his early struggles. After years of grueling hard work and sleepless nights, he graduated, his engineering degree a testament to his perseverance. He didn't seek a lucrative corporate job or the comforts that the city could offer. Instead, his heart and mind were pulled back to the remote villages, back to the darkness that had once defined his nights. Started a groundbreaking project to design and build clean energy machines, specifically small-scale wind turbines that could power remote villages like his own. The project began small, with a few prototypes built from salvaged parts and a handful of dedicated volunteers who believed in his vision. But the idea was powerful. It wasn't long before his innovative and low-cost solution to energy poverty caught the attention of researchers and engineers from around the world. What had started as a boy's dream was now becoming a global conversation. The most magical moment came when the first of his wind-powered lights flickered to life in his hometown. For the very first time in its history, The village glowed under a soft, consistent light after the sun went down. The darkness that had for so long dictated the rhythm of their lives was finally pushed back. Children, who were usually asleep, ran through the illuminated paths, their laughter echoing through the night. The village elders, who had seen countless nights of pitch-black darkness, smiled with a deep, quiet contentment, their faces etched with wonder. And his parents, standing by his side, looked on with tears of pride streaming down their faces. Their son, the boy who had read by candlelight, had come back and brought an enduring light home for everyone. Stay. As the celebration continued around him, Wrath stepped away from the crowd and looked up at the sky, just as he had done countless times as a boy. The stars were as brilliant as ever, but something had changed. He realized then that the bright, guiding light he had always been searching for, the star he had dreamed of reaching, was not in the distant cosmos above him. It was right here, on Earth. It was shining from the lamps in every home, reflecting in the joyful eyes of the children, and glowing warmly from the heart of the village he had helped to transform. The light was not something to be found, but something to be created. During a small ceremony held in his honor, Wrath stood before his village, his voice steady and filled with emotion. He shared a simple, powerful message that resonated with everyone present. Dreams aren't made for the rich, he said, his gaze sweeping over the familiar faces. They're made for those who never give up. If you refuse to surrender, if you hold on to your belief even when the world tells you to let go, you can light up your own world, no matter how small or how forgotten it is. And as he spoke those words, it seemed as if the universe was listening. That night, under the new man-made glow, even the stars in the vast infinite sky seemed to shine a little brighter, as if in applause.